Hello everyone once again. So in this video I'm going to talk about one more principle about the transit of depositors. So it is basically a principle based on for the Gochar system, okay, in which the current transit of planets is taken into account. So uh, let's suppose you want to analyze one of the houses, let's say seventh house related to wife, spouse or girlfriend. Then you have to take into account where is that lord placed in the Rashi chart and in the Navansha chart. So if say the seventh lord is placed in some house, some sign, then you have to take into account the lordship of that particular sign. That is called the dispositor of seventh lord. Okay, and you have to take into account in the Navansha chart where is the who is the dispositor of the seventh lord in the Namansha. Okay, so two things you have to take into account. One is the dispositor of seventh house lord in the Rashi chart and in the Namansha chart. And when these two dispositors they meet in transit, that time something good, something auspicious, or something important happens related to your seventh house. So this is just an example. You can take into account any of the houses or any of the 12 signs to judge the important the important events. Okay, and just like all other transits and uh, all other transit principles, this is just the 50% part, because the 50% part is the normal dasha system. Okay, so when the dasha and gochar both are pointing to the same event, that time you can safely predict the event. Without that also, you can just apply this principle in your native chart. One more thing, it may so happen that sometimes the Navansha Lord and the seventh house Lord, dispositor of seventh Lord in Rashi and Navansha, they are the same planet. Then what? Then at what point they'll meet? Because it's the same planet. Let's suppose seventh Lord dispositor in Rashi is Sun, and in Navansha also it is Sun. So it is possible that, so what? How will you judge the result? In that case, you have to judge it the based on the transit of Lagna Lord also, along uh, with this dispositor. Okay, so when the Lagna Lord actually meets this dispositor in the transit, that time you can predict the event, and rest we'll see when we see the examples shortly. Okay, so let us take the example chart for this principle. So to apply this principle, one has to look at the D1 chart as well as D9 chart. Okay, D1 chart is the Rashi chart and D9 chart is the Navans chart. Okay, so let us look at this native who has got ascendant in Libra and Jupiter is in the Lagna. Saturn, Sun, Mercury, Venus, they are in 12th house. Moon is in 5th house in Aquarius. Ketu is in Sagittarius. Rahu is in Gemini. And Mars is in Scorpio in the even chart. And in the Navans chart, the Navans Lagna is Pisces with Jupiter in it. Moon is here in Aries. Sun is here in Taurus. Mercury retrograde in Gemini. Rahu and Venus in Aquarius. Saturn here, Ketu in Leo, Mars is in Scorpio. Okay, so suppose you want to analyze or make some prediction about the the profession of this person. Okay, so related to job, which is the house? The main house is the 10th house. So one has to look at the dispositors of the 10th lord. Okay, so 10th house is Cancer, and the lord of Cancer is Moon. So we have to look at the dispositors of Moon. So Moon has got two dispositors. One is Rahu, another is Saturn. Now Saturn here is strong. You see, Saturn is with three other planets, so Saturn is strong. So we take Saturn as the lord of the 10th house, dispositor of the 10th house in the Rashi chart. Okay, so 10th lord dispositor in Rashi is Saturn. Now let us look at the D9 chart. In the D9 chart, the 10th lord, you have to look at the 10th lord from the Rashi and see where it is placed in the Navansha. So in the Rashi chart, 10th lord is Moon, and it is placed in the Aries Navansha. And Aries Navansha is the lord of Aries Navansha is Mars. Okay, so 10th lord in D9 is Mars. Okay, so Saturn and Mars, these two are the key planets here. So whenever in the transit chart you see that the Saturn and Mars, they are together, they are conjunct, that point of time he either gets a new job, or he gets a new offer, or there is some change in the job, or some change in the office, some change, something important happening in the professional life. Okay, so that's the overall principle. Now let us look at some other house also. For example, seventh house. Okay, so here seventh house is Aries in the D1 chart, and the lord of Aries is Mars, which is placed here in Scorpio. Okay, so for the seventh house, seventh lord dispositor in Rashi chart is, so who is the lord of Scorpio? Scorpio has two lords. One is Mars, another is Ketu. And when Mars is in its own house, the other planet becomes the lord. Okay, so seventh lord here is, sorry, dispositor of seventh lord in Rashi chart is Ketu. Okay, now let us look at the seventh lord dispositor in Navan's chart. Okay, so where is Mars placed? Mars is again placed over here in the in Scorpio. So lord of Scorpio here is Mars and Ketu. Now since Mars is in own sign, so we have to take Ketu. Okay, so here also the lord is Ketu. So Ketu becomes very important planet for the seventh house related activities. Okay, so Ketu is very important planet for this person. Now you see that it is how to make some prediction about, since Ketu is just a single planet, and based on single planet what kind of prediction you can make. So what you have to do is you have to see when Ketu is transited along with the Lagna Lord. Okay, now see here, Lagna Lord, it is a Libra ascendant, so the Lagna Lord is Venus. So one has to look at the conjunction of Venus and Ketu to find out important event related to marital life for this guy. Okay, so so that's a short and sweet principle. Just apply it on the native chart and see it works miraculously. I've seen it working miraculously in various charts. Okay, so thank you very much.